Welcome to Bullets Nation, the podcast by Bullets fans for Bullets fans. I'm your host, Tracy Malone, a Bullets member since we came back into the league 10 years ago. In sporting teams, players change, coaches change, and staff move on. We don't, Bullets fans. We're the constant. We've been here since the early days, and we'll still be here when the next banner goes up. This is our space to talk about our team at length. No 30-second hot takes here. We're here for real hoops chat. We love this club, we argue, we cheer, we ride every run and we carry every loss. So settle in and suit up. If you're Bullets family, you're at home here. This is Bullets Nation. As always, I'd like to tip off today by saying hi and welcome to my co-hosts, Scott Husband and Cameron Pawluck.
Hello there.
Hi, everyone.
Let's say hi to social media and what's been happening over there this week. On YouTube, we've got a crazy amount of wonderful comments, as always. I just love your thoughts. There's people in there who have real thoughts in there. And G-Funk is all for Will McDowell-White over Luke Paul. And I asked him, what about between Will and Hunter Maldonado? And he said, Will McDowell-White is the guy. Yeah, just some great stuff in there. So keep engaging with us in there. Monday Madness. Which import from the last 10 years would actually survive a full season under our current injury luck? This was a bit hilarious because people were saying players that did actually get injured. Because Vic Law seemed like he was the most durable, but he didn't play a full season.
No, he did not. He went down towards the end.
Yeah, for us or Perth.
Yes,
And
yeah,
have we
for
actually
both
had?
teams.
Yeah, and AJ asked, have we actually had one player that played every game?
We've had a few.
Yeah. Taylor Braun, EJ Singlet, Torrey Craig, all three
Yeah.
played 28 games in a season. That was Anthony Mullins who came in for that. That would be cool if one of them could make a comeback. How old are they now?
Tory's 34, 35. So he's now, I think he's just played his first game with the Sydney Kings
May
a
or
few
may
nights
not.
ago.
I may or may not be speaking about him later.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that one up, Torrey Craig. Okay, so Taylor Braun, wasn't he early when we came back into the Bullets? Because I remember him.
I think Lamar's first or second season with us. I think first season when we all had the Lamar MVP chance going.
Yeah.
That was Taylor, and EJ was the same season as Taylor as well. EJ was, he was our budget import.
Yeah, I don't remember EJ at all.
He used to
the
wear
name doesn't ring a bell.
Used to wear the bandana on his head quite a lot to keep his hair out of his face.
I remember watching him play in that game where we played against Cairns and needed to beat them by a heap, and he sunk threes in that game.
Yeah, they all went off that game. Taylor was a bit of a funny one. He was, I likened him to because he had played with Joe Ingles, and I think that's where the recommendation came from for them signing him. He was also a little bit budget import, but I thought he gave us quite a bit.
We were
while he
very
was there.
budget back then as well,
Yes.
weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, so
I'm just
there's
looking them up.
there's two others that
Oh, yeah, Taylor Braun. I've got their faces now. I
Yeah, it
get
was-
who they both are.
something that showed up in my memories a day or two ago is actually him on the microphone at Nissan Arena interviewing the rest of the team after the game. He was a bit of a funny bloke as well.
Yeah.
There was two others that I think they gave us pretty much a full season, and that's Robert Franks and Travis Trice.
They're both some names that I'd bring back.
Right, yeah, Robert Franks was James Duncan's first season with us. And then obviously Travis Trice, he was one of the early ones that we had. So I think they played 27 games apiece. So I think they missed a game. But that's, to me, pretty much a full season.
He's playing in China now, Travis Trice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been linked to a few teams here in the NBL over the past couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, I quite liked him, what he was able to bring to the game. He was good. Oh, they're two good names, aren't they? I like them, both of them. There's one on the first list that I will take up again. Friday fan debate. The question was, is our biggest issue talent, execution, or belief? And you can only choose one. This was a good one. This got the juices flowing. There were lots of people saying belief and execution. Danny says leadership. Michael says talent. AJ says talent. There you go. Bobby Kevin Fett says talent. Dave said belief. Nikki said execution. Mort said execution on D. And Cara said belief. Where are you guys at with this one?
Yeah, so my initial thought was execution, but after a little bit of time, I ended up going with belief as the major issue. And for me, it's just everything that's happened over this season, the injuries, import turnover, the behavior stuff off court, coaching changes, and everything around that. I just think that's taken a toll on their belief, both as individuals and then as a team. And I think that has then in turn affected their execution. And I think we've seen that in a few little areas of their game where they just don't have that belief in themselves.
Yeah. And this is really interesting. That's why I love these questions, because there's three of us here and the three of us have a different answer, which is what I love. I'm so excited by this because I think it's talent. I really do. I think when you've got the players with that talent, and it all comes down to, I don't think we've got the caliber of players that we need to compete against the top teams. When I put the two playing lists side by side, I just can't see it. The talent's not there, and I haven't for a long time now. So I'm along for the ride this season. And I will cheer and I will do all the things that I do, but I'm excited about next season. I'm going to talk about why this is after we talk about the next game, because that's when it came in hard. I was like, yep, I'm with you. And I can see it in captain and coach now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it, guys? I said execution, but that's by management and execution of their decision making. And for me, the decision making is like the talent that we have on our roster is a result of decisions made by management when they choose a coach, and the coach constructs the roster. And as we've discussed here before, that a GM would help the construction of a more well put together roster. That's where I feel management decisions have let us down, and the decision to especially appoint a head coach with no notable experience at the beginning of the season or in the off season. And
I don't think you even can say notable, can you?
I'm not going to.
I don't think notable's needed.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that either. Yeah, throwing their chips in during free agency for a high-level point guard because they were aiming for Will McDowell-White or Delhi, and ending up with who we got, who they had to let go, and making the decisions that they made. Watts has said in the media that we got the imports wrong. And it's not just the imports.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much that has been wrong this season. And I'm over to this part of it now that they've signed Will Weaver. I'm a little bit of a, and big change. Like, I am so ready for the change that comes next season. And if it doesn't come in all areas of the club, I'm going to have a bit of a flip out. But I'm ready for that now. I've let this season go, and it's like I will do all the things and I will sit and cheer, but that change has to be there next season. So we had a game this week. Whew, I was barely even going to talk about this one. Do we really need to talk about this? Can't this one? We'll just hit the flush button. So we've got something fun coming up, because I said let's go quickly through the game and do something fun after this. So stay with us. Each of us have put a roster together for next year of who we think should be in the Bullets. On Wednesday night, the Bullets flew to Melbourne, drove to Bendigo, and played in the Red Energy Arena against Melbourne United. The crowd there was 3,978. Bendigo can shove a whole bunch of people into a tiny stadium better than we can fill the BEC sometimes. The final score was 98-66. So Mitchell was the winner. So last week we had 2 away games, and I said our predictions for the first away game and I forgot for the second one. So Mitchell actually nailed the score for our Sydney game last week and got it spot on. And he was the winner of predictions this week as well, because he had Melbourne United by 34 points. So he was the closest. I was being very nice by saying 17. Susan was 15. Matthew was 23. There were lots of people who actually thought the Bullets were going to get that one. So you broke their hearts, every single one of them. All right, the other person who said something was Chris Anderson. Said, he didn't give us a score, but he said MU will win every single quarter. And they scraped in by a point. He just got there.
Well done,
And when
Chris.
you look at and when you look at the press conference, that was coach's call. So coach's choice, because Holty wanted to stay on and said, let me stay on, I'll win you this quarter. He said, nah, mate, we got 2 games next week, 2 days
Yeah.
apart. Let's just let this one go. So Chris, go shake D-Mac's hand to get you that. Thank you for that one. All right, so they outscored us 29-19 in the first quarter, 28-17 in the second quarter, 24-14 in the third quarter, and 17-16 in the fourth quarter. So we can pretty much say we were never in this game. Not even for a moment.
Not even.
And I didn't feel like we would be. I felt like Melbourne United are hitting their straps just at the right time. They got that win, and in order for them to really push for the finals, they have to put us away by a lot. That's what had to happen. So it wasn't like Bullets are hopeless, they'll lose. I'm like, look at the rosters. This is what has to happen in a logical
Peter
way.
Hurley was referring to that in the broadcast as well.
Yeah, it's like this just is what's going to happen. So, yeah, I agree with him 100%. Field goal percentage. We were 25 from 68 in the field at 36.76%. They were 37 from 72 at 51.39%. So we're definitely never going to be in it from that, are we? 3-point land, we were 8 from 28, 28%. They were 13 from 29 at 44%. So none of our shooting was respectable. And free throws again, we're at 42%, 8 from 19, and they're at 50%, 11 from 22.
Cam, are you cursing under your breath?
When I saw that, because I knew we shot poorly, and so I knew there was going to be my little rant. But then I saw Melbourne, and I'm just like, how did 2 teams shoot free throws that bad?
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can go is it was venue based.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Different hoops. That's not a world-class venue. Who knows? Those hoops have probably been there for a while.
Oh, yeah. Horrendous.
Who knows? Yeah. Rebounds, we were terrible. 8 offensive, 26 defensive for 34. They were 13 offensive, 26 defensive for 49. The only thing that has changed since Hunter Maldonado came in and D-Mac took over is our turnovers. We had 17 assists, 9 steals and 14 turnovers. They had 23 assists, 8 steals, 14 turnovers. That's the only thing we can go, well done for looking after the ball a lot better. And gee, what a difference a good point guard makes that is not a veteran that we're trying to kill from the sidelines, giving too many minutes. Jacob Holt was our player of the game. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 9 out of 10 from the field. Shooting at 90%, 4 from 4 from the 3-point line. You can tell he had family at the game.
Yeah. He just continues to get better. I think teams are going to stop leaving him open on the 3-point line now. He's starting to knock them down. And so, especially if they just leave him wide open, which they're starting to. And just unfortunate he had no real help from anyone else on the scoreboard.
Cam, do you think it's just a matter of time before Jacob will find it harder to get better looks outside the arc?
I do. I think they'll start to guard him. That'll become part of the scout, is that you can't leave him open. I think they'll run some plays where they get him open and get him those looks. So he'll still knock a few down. But yeah, I think that'll become a scout now on him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he'll be relied on the way Jordan Hunter is.
Yeah.
Longer term, but he's definitely the green shoot that's come through this season for us that gives us hope for NBL 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of the big risks at the start of the season. And so many risks did not pay off, but signing him to a 3-year deal, as long as he stays healthy, is a excellent risk that came through.
It's a big debating point though, isn't it, Tracy? That was it worth it for this season that we went so many games with him unavailable?
Yeah. For the long term, yes.
Yeah, probably.
They thought they had enough bodies to fill it in, but they didn't put the roster together. They didn't factor that in. They knew
it's a big premium to pay for this season.
It is a massive premium to pay. You're exactly right. And they said at the start of the season, we're not rushing him back. We are not rushing him back. And so he's holding this place on the roster, and it's just a big empty hole, but nobody's there filling that hole until
Well,
he's
Cal
back.
Dalton, in theory, Cal was the replacement player, but he didn't play huge minutes. And
That's not an
he's
up to level. That's not
Yeah.
the
no,
same.
he's not. He's
No.
he's arguably, is he break glass in case of emergency? I'm not sure if he's that. Is he?
Yeah, size and skill in the league. He's one of those guys. He's amazing in NBL 1 and can do a few minutes to fill in here and there, but he's no Jacob Holt. They didn't put the team together well enough, in my opinion. Maldonado, 11 points, 3 from 12 from the field, 4 assists, 5 turnovers. Pressure was on.
Yeah. So not his best game for us. I feel United did really well in applying some defensive pressure on him. And so with no one else other than Holt really knocking down shots consistently, that's why his assists were down. And he struggled with finishing at the rim as well. He got to the rim a few times, but he just couldn't finish the way he has been so far for us. And yeah, just that's pretty much all I've got to say on him.
We were talking about Callum Dalton before. He was the only plus for us in that game. We're talking about big man.
Interesting, yeah.
He was a +4, but his efficiency was 3, so our most efficient player, of course. And this is where it really shows. Jacob Holt was a 28 for efficiency. He was a -5 for plus-minus, which who cares? He got us some points.
In the context of a 30-something margin.
Yeah. But the really interesting things that are concerning to me is Tane Murray was a -23 for plus-minus and a -3 for efficiency. If we're calling on players to step up this week, he is one that I am calling on. Dude, we put a team together and you were the one when I was looking at that going, if you need to step up into this spot because we were promised a lot from you. You've shown such great things. Like, we know you are better than what you are giving us at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jacob Holt was a 28 for efficiency, and the closest to him was a 7 from Hunter Maldonado. Oh, no, it wasn't 8 from Terry Taylor. There you go. So it's nowhere near good enough.
As someone else has said, is it a useful or useless stat?
In this case, it's useful. I think it shows just where the team's at. And that shows in a 30-point loss.
And Cal, I don't think he played a huge amount of minutes either.
He played 6 minutes. 36 minutes, he made a difference. But we could argue that if he was out there for 20 minutes, that might have gone down significantly, but he was the only one in a plus. So he does affect the game, but he is not a like for Jacob Holt replacement.
Yeah, no one else really stood up defensively for the team either. And losing Dukas early on, I don't think helped that either. But that just meant with him going down, others needed to step up, and no one did, Tane being one of those.
Yeah. How did Divas go? Divas got himself 18 minutes, but he was a -11 and a 3 for efficiency. So he shot at 20% from the field.
Yeah.
30% from three-point land. There's only Holty gave us respectable numbers. Jensen Bradke was 50% from the field, but this was 50% before he got off. Yeah, there's just nothing in there. And Dukas hurt his hip. They said in the presser, and not bad apparently, but that slip on the Bunnings logo. Tweaked
decals, guys.
Yeah. D-Mac said in his press conference about the venue and the aircon, and it was one of my concerns with these games. I think it was last season we lost a couple of players in one of these regional games in Victoria because the building didn't have adequate aircon. And I've said it, I just don't like playing in those places because they're not up to scratch.
Yeah, Cam, I added that note about that previous game because I still have flashbacks. Bannon was the one that, trying to think if it was a knee or an ankle or something.
Yeah.
And Schuler at the time in that post-game presser, he made it clear that he made his concerns known about that venue.
Yeah.
And I was just, Walton Jr. also injured himself in that game for the Phoenix.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, don't want to dwell on something that was NBL 25.
But what's really disappointing is that they didn't change anything. Same time of year, same conditions, new season. Oh, let's just go back to, let's go to
regional,
Bendigo
yeah.
instead.
Yeah,
Which is great. I love it being in regional, but they're not putting contingencies in place to squish almost 4,000 people into a room. And you know how hot that gets. And then air conditioning.
maybe those places are fine in July, but not January. It seems.
Yeah, especially with that many people in there.
Yeah. The NBL, we're seeing too many injuries across the NBL.
Yes.
We need a royal commission into injuries in the NBL.
Yeah. I do think Melbourne just applied awesome defensive pressure on us. Teams know that's all they need to do now, and we don't have enough bodies then to compete at the level required and then be able to put points on the board. I did see a post on social media and I agreed with it in terms of the outcome of this game was inevitable. We realistically had 2 imports and then the rest were bench and or DPs. It's not an excuse, but we don't have the bodies there to really compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not angry at any of the players. You're not
Yeah.
meant to match up to that. That's why we're just going to lose. It's just a
Yes.
fact.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not bad. It's just look at what's in front of us. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in the context, like you said, the way the rosters are at the moment, respectively, for each team.
Yeah.
And I think, Cam, like you were talking about United, and a good example, like this game, it's a good example of Maldonado getting tested against a strong opposition where I'm not saying it's the other teams are easier, but he matches up better against Cairns or New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Bracky finally got some minutes and like more than 2, like more than just junk minutes. But I get the impression I'm keen to hear DMAC talk about this, but it seems like, is it because he's down the long end of the bench and he's a DP and they don't want to use too long a rotation? A lot of coaches talk about the shorter the rotation, the better. Like recent games, one other team, I forget who, might have been Adelaide, like there were 8 players used that got minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, DMAC brought on Jensen Bracky in the first quarter, which to me was noteworthy. And usually when players like him, they don't get more than junk minutes. It's to do with the rotation and what the optimum length of their rotation is. So I'm keen to hear thoughts.
He did talk about it. He did talk about it in the press conference. So he said,
I haven't seen the presser.
I will give them minutes, but they have to give me something.
Yeah.
They are absolutely all going to give them minutes. And Jack Purchase, Nordo, spoke about it. He said they gave us such good minutes. He said, in what world does Jack Purchase get 0 from his 4 3-point attempts? Like at what point is he a 0 on the score sheet? 0% he had 4 shots from the field, 4 shots from 3 and missed every single one of them. He said, that's just not normal.
So
DMAC did say, I'll give them minutes, but they have to show me something. And if they show me something, they stay out there.
So the answer to my question is, from what DMAC's seen, he hasn't seen enough. Certainly for Jack Purchase. Bracky, like he's first year DP, so it's a bit different to Purchase though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Bradkey got nearly 8 minutes and Purchase got 12.5 minutes. Dalton got 6.5 minutes. He was 18. Holt only played 18.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the post-game press conference, DMAC started it off and he said, we were meant to take away the 3 ball. That was the game plan, was to take away the 3 ball. They had 5 threes in the first quarter and 9 at the half, and they had 29 for the game. So that's 20 for the second half. So he was just really frustrated that his players that he had couldn't execute the scout. And this is why I believe that talent and recruiting is our biggest problem. And I go back to when I was on with Morton, he said about Gorge, when he was doing the coaching thing, and coach, I said, for any new coach, what's the one thing we really need to focus on and get right? And he said recruiting.
Yeah.
So full stop.
Yeah. And if it's true, and that Will Weaver's already in this space and trying to get those pieces he needs now, early on. So I think that'll be good with Will Weaver focused on that coming in.
That is the hope I am clinging to.
Yeah, me too.
That is, I've literally got my fingernails in that one going, I'm hanging in there by Will Weaver's announcement. D-Mac then went on about offense, and he said he'd run a set. He'd get it into the paint touch, kick it out, and then run this to score. He said they still have to score. And when we look at our shooting percentages, they ran the offense that I asked them to run, and they didn't get the shot in. What can you do about that? So the shooting ability really came under scrutiny, which comes back to talent. You look at people who are higher percentage shooters, and they're what you need. Then Chris Pike, the journalist, asked, do they need to play with more freedom? And D-Mac said they have freedom. They have a license to shoot. Look at Dukas and Murray and Divas. They all have that license to shoot, just go out and shoot. And even Jack Purchase, go out and shoot, mate. That's what you're here to do. And so he spoke about the players just making bad choices in offense as well. And again, this comes back to talent. He said, taking the time to dance around with the ball one-on-one and then pass it and put the next bloke under shot clock pressure. So if you're going to dance around with it, make a move and go for the basket. It was a really interesting press conference.
Yeah. And this is why I went with belief for the Friday fan debate. I just of the opinion that they've lost that belief in themselves in shooting. And so they're a lot more hesitant to put those shots up and put it through the back of the net. I think they've got the skills and talent in the shooting. I just think they've lost belief in themselves to put it in the hole.
Yeah, maybe, because they have shown it in games.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned Chris Pike. I like the way he can tease out an answer from what a coach is actually thinking and what the coach knows and what we might have some vague understanding of, but he's got it out of D-Mac that they've got what they need to execute and they weren't able to execute.
Yeah. I haven't seen enough consistency of great shooting at the start of the season and then for it to pan off towards the end of the season to believe it's belief yet. I don't think they have belief in themselves, but I'm not sure the talent's there for them to make it happen. Nordo was in that press conference and always he spoke well. He spoke really well about the bench players and his role as captain. He was asked, what have you got to play for? And he said, great question. And this is what I keep asking the guys. What are you here to play for now? Because are you just going to roll up the season or are you going to actually lean into this? And he said, we can improve. There are many areas that we can improve on. And he said they were spoken about weekly. He said we speak about them week after week after week and they're not improving. He wants at least one of those areas to improve by the end of the season in these last 6 games. And when pressed a bit more, he said communication is one. He said defensively, it takes no skill whatsoever to talk on the defensive end. And you could really see, this was a moment where I could really see the frustration from Nordo. And this is where it comes down to talent as well. You don't need belief. You don't need any of those things. You're either a talker and you're a good team person. You understand that talking needs to happen in defense, or you just don't and couldn't be bothered. And that's where work ethic comes in. So that's where I go back to talent and recruiting. I want the work ethic. Jacob Holt is not going to stop talking, even if you're 100 points down for the 20th game in the season, he's still going to be talking. And that's what I mean when I say talent, and I will come back to it time and again. And I saw the frustration, and as he was talking, I sat there and I thought, this is a man who has spent his career in Perth with the championship winning Wildcats for all those years, playing with Damien Martin and Bryce Cotton. And I imagine he might feel that it's been quite a downgrade in the work ethic of those two players alone. Like, I've played a lot of my career with Damien Martin and Bryce Cotton, two men who will never, ever give up and have a work ethic. I felt really sorry for Nordo in that moment. I just went, God, I wish we could give you more. I wish we could give you the talent and the belief and the work ethic to feel like you're actually working towards something. And that's what I want the players to give him for the rest of this season.
It's interesting you mentioned those two players, Tracy, Damien Martin and Bryce Cotton. Like Bryce Cotton, he's obviously a generational talent, but he's a shooter, so that's a talent. But Damien Martin, to me, that's an example of execution, but it's also effort. So that, I don't know, maybe it's also belief. Like Damien Martin, he was an elite defender, and so much of that was attitude, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's talent as well. These guys, Bryce Cotton is there
Okay.
before
Yeah.
everyone gets there. All the phenoms are. But yes, they've got talent, but talent alone can't get you anywhere. So talent is it, but it's recruitment. Like you have to have the whole package. You've got to believe in yourself, absolutely. But you can believe in yourself and put up 100 shots and make 10 of them and just go, I believe, and keep shooting and be terrible. So I think it's a whole package. But Martin and Bryce Cotton, it's about work ethic as well. Every coach that sits beside them says the work ethic of these guys is extraordinary. They put in the time.
Yeah. I'd been saying for a while that communication was clearly lacking within the team, especially on that defensive end. That was always everything I saw defensively. It was always a lack of communication. It just feels like we've got far too many quiet people out there. And that can go back to your roster build in knowing that you've got some quiet people there. And as you said, Holt is clearly one of those that just is out there talking constantly. And that's one of the reasons why I love him. You can just see that he's out there constantly giving it all and
And
is
you
a
can
good
see his work
communicator.
ethic.
Yeah.
You don't have to know what's behind the scenes. It's like the guy, the young man, has a work ethic that
Yeah.
is, and you can see it on the court. It's yes. And you can see that in Nordo. It's yes. Can we
Yeah.
see it from the other players? That is the question.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to do something very exciting. We're going to do a roster build for 27. We have not shared our teams with each other before we came on. That was a big one. So, Cam, you have listed the players that are still contracted next season for the Bullets.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain this is all up to date. So we've got Tyrell Harrison, so he'll be second year of a 2-year deal. Mitch Norton, it'll be his second year on a 3-year deal. Tane Murray will be his second year on a 2-year deal. Holt on a second year of a 3-year deal. His third year, I didn't realize is a team option. Divas will be third year of a 3-year deal. So this is a full roster spot for him now. But this is also a team option, which I didn't know about. I'm hoping they really pick that up. Sam McDaniel, second year of a 2-year deal. So he's the second year for next season is a mutual option, which I don't understand mutual options. You may as well just say there's got to renegotiate contract essentially. And then Jensen Bradkey will be second year of a 2-year deal as a DP still. This is also a team option.
Yeah. And
So free agents is Casey Prater, Javon Freeman Liberty, Terry Taylor, Alex Dukas, Jack Purchase, and Hunter Maldonado.
yep, great. So, Cam, you were the first one to put your team together. Tell
Yeah.
us.
So I'm going to preface this is a very early construction.
Yeah,
There's
this is a right
definitely
now. What's
going to be some
available?
changes. Yeah.
Let's have some fun.
As free agency changes and so forth. So let's bring up my team. So I know last week I said I wouldn't bring him in, but I'm going to go backtrack on that. For my point guard, I've actually gone for starting. I've gone Will McDowell White, and I'm marking him. And then obviously Nordo and Divas are my bench for point guard. I'm bringing Divas back. My shooting guard starting, I've got an import starter. Now, I'm not too short on what I definitely want a high level scorer, but someone who can definitely defend as well. For my bench, I've gone Angus Glover in that position. I'm going big with some of these as well. Small forward, I'm moving Prather back to that small forward spot, and I'm factoring in that he's still going to be an import. My bench, I wasn't too sure, but I went with Tanner Krebs here. I doubt that he'd want to come back to Brisbane. He's showing he's got the skills, especially under a great coach. My power forward, and this is where I changed yesterday after listening to Cut the Jace, where Jason Kadee was interviewing Sam Menenga. Sounds like Menenga actually prefers the 4 spot, and he plays a lot of 4 spot when he's playing for the New Zealand national team. So I've got Sam Menenga in as my power forward. I'm also going to go with marking him. because I think he's going to cost a fair bit, and I think you need to mark him. So we're only going to have 2 imports, but 2 marquees. And then Tyrell as our starting centre. Bench for power forward, I'm moving Jacob Holt to the 4 spot. So he's going to play the 4 spot coming off the bench. And for my centre bench, I've got Oscar Clough. So
Never heard of
Oscar's
him. Let me look him up. I'm so excited. You said
So-
I'd be excited.
Yeah, so he is currently in the college system, earning, I think, somewhere over $1 million a season. He's been playing extremely well over there. He's a Queenslander. He's from Kawana Waters. So I'd really like to see the Bullets try and bring him in. He might be a no for this coming season, because I think there's a possibility he can play 1 more season in the college system. And with the money that he's earning over there, why wouldn't you? So yeah, so I've got him in as my dark horse for the bench, because he's one that you can build on and he'll be your starter in a couple of years.
He's 24 as well. He's looking good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously I'm keeping Jensen Bradkey as the DP. I think he's got a lot of growth to go, but I think it's there, especially knowing who his dad is. And he's a double in the NBL 1. I think he'll get better as he goes. And then another DP, someone who can play sort of the 3-4, maybe even a little bit at the 2. But I'd also like to see what next stars are out there and maybe get a next star who can play the 2-3 position.
I've got an extra, but he's not for the 2-3 position. I'm so excited.
So-
I want Oscar Clough. He's 24, and if he stays for another year, we can get this next star, and then he can come in afterwards. I'm so excited. Will Weaver, listen to us.
So yeah, so that's my team. I do have an alternate where if we can't get Will McDowell White, I'd actually bring Hunter Maldonado back in. And I also had, because I don't know if you noticed in there, I've actually got no Tane Murray. So I'm of the opinion.
You pay him out, yep.
So I'm of the opinion that I don't think the Bullets will pay any of our contracted players out. But if I had to, I'd probably be paying Tane Murray out. He's probably one of the cheaper options to pay out. So I'd be letting him go and bringing in Glover as a replacement. But if they don't let Tane go, I'd keep Tane and bring Angus Glover in. So I'm not worrying about Tanner Krebs. I'd move Glover to that small forward because I think Glover can play that position reasonably well.
Yep. Nice. So I'm allowed to have 1 marquee and 3 imports, aren't I?
Yes. Yeah. Or 2 marquees and 2 imports. Yeah. That's the way it works.
All right. I'm going to go because I'm too excited not to go. So at the 1, I've got Nordo and Divas in there coming off the bench position. And I've got an import in that position. And I would like a PJC type. I want a point guard who can really score, got that high talent, but also that ability to assist. Just those wicked assists going on. I would say Bryce Cotton. How do we get another one of him?
Yeah.
And I also thought about PJC type because I have Menenga as well, and I would marquee him in the 4 spot. Because for me, when thinking about bigs, I'm like, who is the guy who's going to feed them? He needs to be great, but he also needs to be able to feed the big men to make them shine, because I'm not doing this anymore where we have these big men sitting down there starving. Okay, so I would keep Murray because he's there. And so step up, mate, but you're moving further down the bench for me. I would have an import. So this is where I would actually have Torrey Craig. I don't care that he's old. I don't care the experience. When I look at this team and I'm like, where do I bring that real veteran presence in? I would bring it in with Torrey Craig if he would have us. And I would bring him into whatever position he wants to fit into because that's what he does. But in this world, I would put him in at the 2.
Yeah.
Actually, this is where it got really interesting. This is where I tossed it up. So if I could have my dream team, I wouldn't be bringing Casey back because I'd put Torrey Craig in because physically he can play more positions and his body can hold up to all the things that basketball gives it because he's shown it. So that's the only reason. It's not that I don't love Casey, and Casey is coming back and all the things, so I'm just having a little dream team moment here. I would actually put Torrey in that position and he would sit more at the 2. Benching around guards, I didn't go, this is who would play this exact position. I would also be bringing in Tanner Krebs, and I did notice that Elijah Pepper is also up for end of season new contract. So I was thinking, who plays decent defense, who's got some length, and who can shoot? And I'm filling my guards up with that. Everyone who can bring us that is in. So Tanner Krabs and Elijah Pepper in those ones. And for me, dream team here, people, I know it won't happen, but I am signing John Brown III as my other import spot because I need an elite defender on this team. And I was like, where am I going to bring this elite, like seriously elite defense in? And that man is a 4 who guards some of the best point guards in the league. He is so diverse, it's crazy. We're keeping Jacob Holt. I am moving him to the bench. Menenga is coming in. And that's why when I thought about who can the point guard be, I wouldn't hate Will McDowell-White there if he's available. He's coming into that as well. But I need bodies that can survive a season now as well. And this is where I had a little bit of fun because at the 5, obviously, I've got Tyrell, but then I'm going to put a next star in. Have you heard the name J.K. March?
No.
He is 229 centimetres tall, 7 foot 6 inches. He is 3 centimetres taller than Victor Wembanyama. He is of South Sudanese descent. He was born and raised in Western Australia. Right now, he is currently at the Centre of Excellence in Canberra, and every single eye is on him. And he is also, I'm not about the money, and he has just watched his mate, who he grew up with in Western Australia, sign with the Next Stars program in Luke Paul. So there is a very real possibility that he is going to be signing as a Next Star in the NBL instead of going over to the college system. He is looking for the club and the team that can give him the best amount of development. He would be playing up against a 7-footer in practice every day. He would have Menenga and Jacob Holt there every day. And my God, Will Weaver, we are bringing Aaron Baines back into training and we are keeping that man fit, and he is going to work with this kid. And we are going to have a 7 foot 6 inch behemoth. He does not have to jump to touch the net. It is right there. And so Luke Paul is like the phenom. It's like this is his mate of the other dimension that is the same. So he is my most exciting part of this entire team because I was going to stack it big heavy. I was not going to sit there with, well, what if? I am living in the world of whoever comes off the bench is bringing something amazing. So that's my team. I'm very excited about my team. I'm very happy for the universe to provide me with that or something better.
Sorry,
How
I was
about you?
just sorry, I was just
You looked
looking
at
at I was just looking. Looks like he can shoot the three as well a little bit.
Yeah. Like he is basing his game off Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
And you've seen that mad ball skills that guy's got.
Yeah.
How does he even do what he does? I'm like, you are tall, you're meant to catch and shoot. And Victor Wembanyama he's wild. And this kid is coming in with the same. And I didn't put his age down, but I think he's 17 or 18 years old.
17 at the moment. Yeah.
So I like your Oscar, but I'm loving my man. So
I'd be happy to bring him in as my next star. But have Oscar as well, so have the 3.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. So if we can, I think I filled all my spots though.
Yeah.
So I had Tyrell, Jacob, and Menenga, and I was like, that's enough if you can get a JK March in there as well, because to develop him, I want him playing. I don't want him doing little Rocco minutes and developing slowly. I want this kid playing some minutes.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, give us your team.
So just the contracted players plus At the 1, it comes down to, is Will going to stay in Europe? I'd love him to come
You
back.
get to choose. This is,
Okay.
if you can have
Let's
it, you
say
get it. Who do you
let's say
want?
he comes back. So
Yeah.
he's at the 1. If not, someone similar to Hunter, but a better shooter. But
So
Hunter
you
is,
would put an import in there. If you can't get Will McDowell White, you're putting an import in there. So which one are you going with? You can't go either this or this. Who are you
yeah, that's a
having?
fallback. So that leaves an import spot. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say Will has had enough of Europe and comes back. And then Notto backs him up. Tristan sort of rotates between the 1 and the 2 or 3 or whatever. Casey gets naturalized. Lamar gets naturalized. I'm being very rose-colored glasses here. And at the 4, someone like an import who, I don't want to get too specific, but someone who is good enough to start at the 4 and has enough size to play minutes at the 5.
Yeah. So maybe like a Doolittle.
Yeah,
Or,
similar,
or
or Josh Bannon, Sam Menenga,
yeah,
the kind of
Yeah,
guys that,
Meninga's not an import. I
well,
looked at
that
Doolittle because
size
I
who
would like
that
has an
Doolittle.
outside shot.
Yeah.
that size. Yeah.
Doolittle's locked in for 3 more years. I actually wanted Doolittle in my lineup, but he's not available.
Oh,
One of the other import spots, I'd love to have a defensive stopper like a Justin Simon type, but
yeah.
should we also consider, I'm still wavering, someone like Dakota Matthias, who is a shooter, is shooting a priority? So that's where yeah.
All right. I like my team best,
Surprising.
which was the whole point of putting it together. And I hope you
Yeah.
like your team best, Scott, and you like your team best as well, Cam, because that's the
And
whole point of this, is that we get to have some fun and we get to build our own team, and who cares what anyone else thinks.
I like your next option, Tracy, but Cam, I like the Oscar Clough.
Yeah, I like them both too. I'll take
Like,
both of them.
because I've read about Clough and
yeah,
like where he's going to end up, that's going to be really fascinating.
yeah, yeah. It'll be really interesting with him.
I
Yep.
was I was being too practical and realistic. Oh, what if this player's available? And yeah, Glover, I'd love the idea that, remember, somebody asked Olgan, oh, is Weaver coming to Brisbane? And he said, probably. After that, they were like, cool,
Yeah,
and kept on walking or something. And if somebody who's mates with somebody, and that if Olgan's based in Sydney, and if it was a Sydney player, they're like, cool. And if he's got still mates with the guys that went to Phoenix, like Hunter or Glover, and if
yeah,
Glover is Weaver,
yeah.
wouldn't
That's
mind being
what.
coached by him.
Yeah, that's why I've got Glovo in there. I just
Yeah.
think he works well under Weaver.
Yeah, and I would not oppose Glover for
Yeah,
Tanner Krebs or Elijah Pepper. I would happily switch Krebs out with Glover, no problem.
yeah,
So the way I looked at it was the things stick in your mind every now and then, and what stuck in my mind was last year when Illawarra won that championship. In training, their white shirts were beating their starting 5. So I'm
yeah,
like, who have I got in my second 5 that can take it to the starting 5? And how can we make practice a real serious game where
yeah,
those starting 5 are every week they have to keep stepping up or they're going to lose their spot? That's what I want. And that's what every NBL commentator said at the start of the season. Brisbane does not have any depth on their bench. They're not going to
yeah.
go far.
Yeah,
And
that's what.
they were
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. I've tried to make sure we've got bench players that if we have a player from our starters go down, that bench player can slide into the starting lineup without any issues.
Yep.
That was one
Yep.
of the big things that I was looking at.
Just on the white
Yeah.
shirts, going back to the last Olympics, Delhi made it into that 12, and the word was that he was leading the white shirts, and they won every practice that he was on the court for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it really matters.
I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say I have gone through every team for the league and put together a list of their contracted and out of contract players. Cairns have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. They've only got 3 contracted players for next season, and all of those have options.
I think it works in their favour, though. I think
Yeah.
I'd keep the 3 and rebuild.
So yeah, so if anyone wants to see that watching, I'm happy. I'll share it with anyone who wants to see it.
Yep. Hit
And
us
I'll
up.
keep
And
it.
also, tell us your team. Who's your
Yeah.
team that you're putting together? I want to see, because Cam came up with a name that I've never heard before, and I'm very excited that I brought you guys a name that you'd never heard before. So let's all put out into the basketball verse that JK March is going to choose Brisbane, please, basketball gods, give me something. We have an upcoming game. So you can share with us on social media. You can share with us via our comment on any of our places we comment. bulletsnationpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up. We want to hear. Upcoming game, we play Illawarra on Monday night at home.
It's winnable. I say that with a very, I don't know, it's winnable. I think we will. Hawks are not playing consistently, so I'm hoping we can catch them walking in thinking that this is going to be an easy game, and then we can just get away with it. I'm not sure how many bodies we have to throw at them. I haven't seen any updates.
Tyrell should be back. He could have been back for the other game, but wasn't quite there. So
yeah, should be back.
Game time decision.
Yeah. Hawks just need to play defense against us, apply that defensive pressure, and that's going to cause us all types of hassles. I do think that's been one of their weaknesses, though, so we might actually get some shots up. I'm going with the Bullets to win by 2. It's going to be a close one.
Love your optimism, Cam.
I've got to be right once this season, don't I?
Oh, you will be right once, I'm sure of it, but
hasn't happened yet.
I've just set my expectations very low for the last few weeks, and they'll continue to be low until I'm given an indication that they should be lifted. But we're lacking rim protection unless Tyrell comes back, and Holt needs help on the boards. In the JJs and Hawks game, the JJs shot poorly against the Hawks in that game, and that proved quite a difference, as well as like Quentin Peterson having a big night. And I think the halftime interview, he said, "Oh, my teammates were finding me and getting me good looks." And I just don't think the Bullets have that sort of chemistry between each other to find each other at the right place at the right time. I'm not convinced they'll shoot well enough to be competitive. They might lead at different points. They might be competitive for a couple of quarters, but I don't think it will be for 4 quarters. Harvey had an off night against Tasmania, and Pearson stepped up, and we don't have that kind of depth, and we don't have enough players that are just being consistent, particularly with shooting. So at least 15 by the Hawks for me.
Yeah. Love your optimism, Cam. Love it. There's heaps in the group that are optimistic. I am optimistic that we're going to lose this game. There is very optimistic. And I'm not sad that we're going to lose it. It's like, how do we win this? Without Tyrell, and even with Tyrell, because he's not back up to game day fitness, McGee and Froling alone can beat the Bullets. I just watched them. Like, Sam Froling is a monster. It's like, God, McGee's a monster. And then you're like, Sam, it's like, my God. Like, those two alone can beat us individually. So I don't hold great hopes for us at all. I'm going to say, and after they played against Tassie, they're coming back together. They had a great week of training. Illawarra did. I just don't think we've got it. I'm going to say, because we're at home and because D-Mac's going to ride them at home harder than he does anywhere else, because he wants it for us too, I'm going to say maybe by 13. Illawarra by 13. And then we've got to turn around 48 hours later and drive to the Gold Coast. Players do. Ignite Cup game. First day back at school, down on the Gold Coast. Thanks, NBL. So we're playing Adelaide. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I was actually considering heading down for this one. We were thinking of maybe going down and make a day of it, so we've got other stuff to do down the coast and then go to the game. But I really don't think I want to be spending the extra money to just go and watch my team get hammered, because that's what I think is going to happen. I may still go down. I may put myself through that misery. We'll see. I'll make my mind up by tomorrow. So I'm going Adelaide by 25, Cotton to have 40.
It's a similar margin for me, somewhere in the 20s. I think that's being optimistic that it's less than 30, to be honest. We haven't shown any signs that we can match with the 36ers.
No.
And just going back to the Hawks, you need to outshoot them. And it's similar with the 36ers. I think Humphreys matches up well because I think they'll feed Humphreys, and like he didn't play as many minutes in the last game, but I think he will against us. I think he'll play more minutes.
And they have Rakocevic, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah.
Humphreys
Actually,
goes off, Rakocevic
that's
comes
a
on.
type of import I'm also keen on, is that can back up Ty.
Yeah. And Cheatham.
Yeah.
We just
he's
don't
lo-
have we don't
Yeah.
have a match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I would say Adelaide by 35. Because it's because it's an Ignite Cup game and it's
Yeah.
getting to the pointy end of the Ignite Cup now. So they're going out there to score and score and score and some more. And they're going to want to win every single quarter. And we are too depleted to even come close.
So you reckon they'll go out of their way to find Bryce open and get him in good spots?
Everyone open. They
Or
won't
Flynn.
care who's open. Whoever's shooting
Cotton
well
gets
is going to
doubled,
get the ball.
Yeah, if Cotton gets double, Flynn will
We don't
be
have the
open.
bodies to double Cotton. Yeah, we don't have those bodies to do that.
Or the
We can
fitness.
try our best to, and look at how we were meant to take away the 3 ball from Melbourne United, and look how well
They
that
couldn't
worked.
do it.
And we're 48 hours after playing Illawarra at home. The bodies are not going to be fresh and ready. It is going to be a spectacle, in my opinion. And maybe it won't be. Maybe we're wrong. Who knows?
I was just trying to find the Ignite Cup ladder to see where Adelaide. Yeah, see Adelaide are third.
Yeah.
They
And so
if
they're
they
to
if
gain like an advantage, they're going to need to
yeah
win.
if they win this, yeah, they'll easily jump up into second.
Yep. Yep. So there we go. There we have it. I don't have any yeah nah questions ready for this week at all. I have not done them.
I've got one nah.
Great. Bring it in. What is it?
I'm making this up off the top of my head, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Do the Bullets need to bring in a big man expert to help with their bigs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's where, and the only reason why that popped into my mind, because I'm looking at the bigs that we're looking at adding into our roster next year, especially your next star. And I feel like that's what we're missing. I feel like we've lost that since Baines left.
I want Baines to come into ownership. I really do. I actually want someone who is a past player who gives a damn. When I look at Sydney and the franchise they are and everything they are doing, you look at their coaching staff, all excellent. You look at their owners, they've got Bogues, and Bogues was an owner and coming in as an expert helping the bigs. They have got their finger on the pulse of bigs all around the country, and what he doesn't have his hands on, Luke Longley does. For the love of God, they are going to get every great big ever.
To elaborate on my answer, it's also, if that's what Will Weaver wants, like whatever Will Weaver thinks he should have on his coaching staff.
But I think we need more than just coaching staff.
Yeah.
I think we need the coaching staff and some. That's what I'm talking about, Sydney. They've got their coaching staff and then.
Yeah.
And then they've got Luke Longley and then Andrew
I love
Bogut
the thinking,
part of the
but that
coaching
involves
staff now.
spending money, Trace. So
If they want to get to the top, that's what they have to do.
yeah. Do they want to
And
be
so,
successful or not?
Yeah. And when you look at people like Leroy, and he gets really offended, he said in that podcast, when the Bullets are signing these people to come in and be some sort of expert, he said, I could have done that, but they expect me to walk in and do it for free. Like, they've got to start paying money and be respectful of the people who actually have played for this club and love this club, and not just, hey, show up to this game and we'll give you tickets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring them in, pay them money for the experts that they are. And Banger has that expertise, in my opinion.
100%. And that's what I was just about to say. He's got that wealth of experience, NBA, Olympics. He's done it at the highest level. And for me, I say we saw that in Ty and Rocco when he was there. Both of those were showing signs of improvement. And then he left, and it felt like both of them went backwards a little bit.
When we see him or hear from him now as the occasional spot on the broadcast or NBL Now co-host once in a while, that's a waste of talent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got his new business venture in Kylo, and he's doing all these things, but it's like we cannot waste that type of talent, especially with his NBA and international experience. Cannot go home and sell supplements as good as they are to people and that be it. He cannot be done. He is too good. Look at Derek Rucker. Yes, he's doing his loads of commentary stuff, but he's got Derek Rucker basketball still going. He's still having an impact on this game, and I do not think we can let Aaron Baines sit back and not share everything that he's learned.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well done, gents.
Excellent.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Bullets Nation podcast. You know how to contact us by now. Hit us up, join the group. Our group is growing every week, and it's a lot of fun being in there. It helps us on those away games when we're getting flogged. We hold each other in the space of misery and downfall, and we try to hold each other up. But you're never alone in there, and there is often a good laugh to be had in there as well when we're losing. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Bullets Nation podcast. We will see you again next week.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
From the river city under bright skies, where the hustle and heart always rise. One team, one voice, we're giving our all. Feel the rush, hear the crowd, Bullets Nation. We're strong and loud. From the river city under bright skies, where the hustle and heart always rise. One team, one voice, we're giving our all. Feel the rush, hear the crowd, Bullets Nation. We're strong and we're strong and loud. Van Loo, a Bullets Nation, we're strong and loud.